If you've spent any time looking at homes, you've probably heard the phrase, as is. And if you're like most people, you've probably wondered what that actually means. Does it mean you can't ask for repairs? Does it mean the seller doesn't have to disclose any of their problems? Does it mean you're stuck with whatever issues show up after closing? Not exactly. Hi, I'm Sheila Ochsner, Realtor in Katy, Texas. And today I want to clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings I see in real estate. Because buyers get confused by it, and sellers get confused by it, and sometimes even agents don't explain it very well. So let's start with something that surprises most people. In Texas, almost every resale home is sold as is. That's right, almost every one of them. The Texas contract says the buyer accepts the property in its current present condition. So when someone says, this house is being sold as is, my first thought is usually, well, so are most houses. The real question isn't whether the home is being sold as is. The real question is, what happens if the inspection uncovers issues? Let's say you found the house you love. You make an offer, and lucky you, the seller accepts it. You schedule your inspection, and then the inspector spends 3 hours crawling around places most of us would never voluntarily enter. And afterward, you receive a report that's about the thickness of a small novel. Maybe the inspector finds an aging roof. Maybe the HVAC system is nearing the end of its life. Maybe the water heater is older than a college student. I've seen it. Now what? This is where people get confused. Just because a home is being sold as is does not mean you lose the right to negotiate. You can still ask for repairs. You can ask for a credit. You can ask for closing cost assistance. You can ask for just about anything. Now, the seller simply has the right to say yes, no, or somewhere in between. Negotiation is still part of the process. Now let's talk about something that's a little different, because sometimes you'll hear the phrase, as is, where is. That's a much stronger statement. An as is, where is sale means exactly what it sounds like. The buyer is purchasing the property in its current condition, exactly where it sits, with no expectation that the seller will make repairs, provide credits, or offer concessions after the inspection. Basically, what you see is what you get. These situations are common with inherited properties, estate sales, foreclosures, investment properties, or homes that need significant updating. The seller is basically saying, we are not fixing anything. Now, can a buyer still get an inspection? Absolutely, and they should. The inspection isn't for negotiating repairs, though. It's for understanding what they're buying before moving forward. If the inspection uncovers issues, the buyer can't come back and ask the seller to repair them or provide money toward those repairs. The buyer either accepts the property in its current condition or decides not to move forward before becoming fully committed. That's the biggest difference between a typical as-is sale and an as-is, where-is sale. One still leaves room for negotiation, the other one does not. Now, let's talk about something I see quite a bit from sellers. A seller will tell me, the roof has never leaked, and that's amazing. Good for you. I love hearing that, actually. But buyers aren't looking at today's condition right now. They're looking at tomorrow's expenses. A roof that's 15 years old may still be functioning perfectly. The concern is what happens next. Many insurance companies right now are paying close attention to roof age, especially once a roof gets past the 10-year mark, unfortunately. So buyers aren't necessarily worried about leaks. They're thinking about future insurance costs and the possibility of having to replace that roof. The same thing happens with an HVAC system. A seller says, "But it still works." And they're right, it does. We all know it does. But buyers are wondering if they're going to be the lucky new owners replacing it during their first Houston summer. When temperatures hit triple digits, air conditioning suddenly becomes very important. Funny how that works. That's why buyers pay attention to the age of the systems. Not because it's broken, because they're trying to understand what expenses may be coming down the road. And when you're already paying for a move, furniture, deposits, and everything else that comes with a new house, those future costs matter. One thing I always encourage buyers to remember is this: the inspection isn't just about asking for repairs. It's about gathering information about that home. Whether the seller agrees to fix something or not, you deserve to know what you're buying. A good inspection helps you make an informed decision. That's valuable whether you're purchasing a brand new home or a 50-year home. So, here's the bottom line. Most homes in Texas are sold as is. That doesn't prevent inspections. That doesn't prevent negotiations. And it doesn't prevent buyers from asking questions. An as-is, where-is sale is different. The buyer is agreeing to purchase the property in its current condition without asking the seller for repairs, credits, concessions after the inspection is done. Understanding the difference can save you a lot of confusion, whether you're buying, selling, inheriting a property, or helping a family member through the process. If you're buying or selling in Katy, Fulshear, Richmond, Cypress, or anywhere in the greater Houston area, and you have questions, feel free to reach out. And if there's another real estate term you've heard but not fully understood, leave it in the comments. There's a good chance someone else is wondering the exact same thing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.